how do you be effective in getting that girl to like you? Or how do you be effective in making more money? Or whatever random goal you set for yourself. We always set some goal. Get in better shape. End police brutality. Or whatever, you know what I mean? You're going to create a mission for yourself today, or whatever. I'm going to help the plight of these people, or myself, or whatever, you know what I mean? My children, right? We're always out here fighting for something or somebody. So, on your fight, how can we fight best? What's up, Grind Gang? How you living, baby? I hope that you're living and loving your life. I hope that you're out there and you're really trying to remain in control of yourself and your own actions and your own thoughts, and understand that, doesn't matter what's going on in the world, honestly, ever. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. I constantly try to stress upon people that far more than what's going on in the world affects you, your own personal decisions and life choices affect you the most. Okay? I know that all this seems like it's affecting you, but really what's affecting you is the choices you're making right now, the choices you're making to what you consume, how you think, what you do. All those things are really what's affecting you today. It's not the situation, okay? Because the situation, there's always a situation. There's always an earthquake. There's always a murder. There's always a pandemic. There's always a corruption. There's always economic instability. There's always, there's always me and my neighbor don't get along. You know what I'm saying? There's always something. This bitch at school keeps talking shit about me. There's always something going on. So you can't point to things in the world and say, well, that's the reason why I'm not having a good day today. And that's the reason. And that's the reason. I mean, if that's the logic that we use, right, then we'll never have a good day. There'll never be a good day out here. You'll never be in a positive mood. Right? And then I also question the efficacy of being in a good mood, right? Having a positive outlook on life or on a situation or whatever, or moving with positive intention, I personally believe, now everybody would not agree with me on this, but I personally believe that is a more high energetic place, a place that provides you more insight, more energy, more effectiveness, right? When you're trying to do things out of love or goodness in your heart, when you're trying to bring about peace, or love, or unity, or respect, or any of these things, right? I just feel like it makes you naturally more effective because you're not so clouded by anger or fear or anxiety, or you know what I mean? And I've just never really seen people make really good decisions in that emotional state. Emotional state's so important, and that's what I talk about all the time. You know how hard it is to make your dreams come true in your life? Let's just take away from what's going on in life. It's hard to get it's hard to start a business. It's hard to write a book. It's not easy to get away from everything else you got to do in life, right? To make something of value to the world, or to make something of value to yourself. It takes a lot of effort, right? In order to have that kind of effort, you have to have some type of deep drive within you. You have to be able to control your state. I hear a lot of people all the time, why don't you work out? I don't feel like it. How come you don't, start a business or something? Oh, well, it's too hard, or it's whatever, right? It's a lack of positive state. It's a lack of motivation. It's a lack of excitement or drive or energy. And so all of that is an emotional state, right? It's all about emotional control to get to those things. So I would argue that if you want to be most effective today in whatever it is that you're going to do, whether that be protesting or not protesting or feeding your kids or whatever it is you're going to do today, I would argue that you would do it better in a positive mood. You would be more effective at whatever it is that you're trying to get accomplished, anything, if you were doing it from a place of love, right? Love for something or passion for something. And so kind of that's what I'm going to talk about today a little bit, is about, having passion for something, having a drive, where that comes from, and how do we remain effective in our pursuits for life, you know what I mean? In whatever pursuit. How do you be effective in getting that girl to like you? Or how do you be effective in making more money? Or whatever random goal you set for yourself. We always set some goal. Get in better shape. End police brutality. Or whatever, you know what I mean? You're going to create a mission for yourself today, or whatever. I'm going to help the plight of these people, or myself, or whatever, you know what I mean? My children, right? We're always out here fighting for something or somebody. So on your fight, how can we fight best? What do you need in order to execute a good fight? You know, what do you need to execute, like I said, effectiveness? Effectiveness should be the word of the day. How am I effective? Because I'll see a lot of people say, well, the solution is you got to do something. You got to do something. To do nothing is not good. Well, I would argue with that logic, right? Because if I do, like me doing something is assassinating all white people. You know what I mean? Like if I feel like the problem is, you know, whites versus blacks and blacks are having a hard time because white people are out here, could I just kill all white people? Is that like a solution to my problem? Not really. I mean, it is a solution to your problem, sure, but it's not an effective solution to your problem, right? And so I'm really big into this. And I think that anybody who's of actual substantial change or who's actually serious about whatever mission they're trying to take on is really serious about this idea of how do I actually be effective? Like, how do I actually use my time and my energy and my money and my resource, whatever, like to actually make the thing happen that I want to happen. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you you know, and let's use a different example than the example that we're living through today. Because, I mean, we all get, you know what I mean? It's just so emotionally charged right now, that situation. So let's take any kind of situation. And I haven't really thought about this but it's coming out on the top of my head. You want to win a championship. Let's use that. This could be any sport you like, soccer, bowling, baseball, isn't it? But you want to win a championship. You want to see yourself hoist that trophy up high, right? Now, my question to you, if that's your goal, that's your mission is to win the championship, right? How can you effectively do that? How can you effectively go about winning the championship, right? Well, I don't know necessarily what the specific strategy you're going to use is, right? But I will know this. Some strategies are going to work a lot better than others, right? And every strategy out there isn't necessarily going to be effective right now. And so let's use one example of what I'm seeing a lot and what I think is ineffective. If I make my mission to win the championship, can I make that my mission the day before the championship? The day of the championship? Like, will I effectively win if I haven't even decided to play the game until the day the game is to be played, right? Today is the World Soccer Championship, and today is the day that I decided I want to be the champion. Are the chances of me being able to walk out onto the field with no practice, no strategy, no know-how, no anything at all? I've never even played the game. I've never even seen the game, honestly. I don't even really know the rules of the game. I just woke up today and I just decided that I want to win the championship. Am I going to be able to win this championship? Like, if you're a betting person, would you guess that I would win against a possible opponent who decided they were going to win the championship last year or 2 years ago or have been training for 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 years to win this said championship? Nah, it's just probably not, right? I could show up. I can get out on the field, sure. I could probably kick the ball once or twice. I'm not saying nothing will happen, but am I likely to win that championship? Well, no, of course not, right? Because it's just not effective. You don't just step up into something that you know nothing about and solve it, right? It just never happened. Because you gotta ask yourself, right? If it was that easy to win the championship, right? Don't you think everybody would have won it already? Like, don't you think everybody would have stepped up and been like, I'm going to win the championship, right? We've all done that. We've all just stepped up and won if that's what it takes, right? If anybody's just peeking in right now and they're like, what the fuck is he talking about? I'm using analogies here for your current situation or any situation, right? But I'm just saying, what happens if I have established a goal of something I want to accomplish in my life? I want to lose weight. I want to be healthier, faster, smarter, cuter, more loving. I want to help more black people. I want to help mental health, right? I talked about this a little bit in my other talk about how to actually care. And one of the things I kept trying to explain to everybody about me is you've seen my content change some, but you've seen it stay relatively consistently the same as well. You haven't seen me post a lot of Black Lives Matter. You haven't seen me go out and protest. And you say, well, does Rod not care? Is Rod really a racist? Is Rod you know what I mean? Is he going to use his voice for silence to help the oppressor? Is that what I'm doing? No, I promise you that's not what I'm doing. I'm just realizing that, I'm not effective here, right? I mean, my voice is sort of effective in the sense of, like, I've learned a lot about psychology, but I really don't know much about the plight of black humans in our society. I'm half black, sure, but I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen police brutality happen in front of me. It's never happened on my doorstep. It's never none of that, right? And so does this mean I should just stay out of it? No. I could still choose to want to win that championship, but I can't step on the field like, this can't be my first game. This is the championship right now, and I can't, this being my first game, step out here and actually be effective. I don't know. I don't know what the problem actually is. I know what people keep telling me what the problem is, but I don't really know why this system is broken in the way that it's broken. All right? And I'm just personally not buying into this overarching idea that everybody's racist. It's just, I'm not really buying that yet. So my point is, I don't know, right? And so to be effective doesn't mean to just do anything. That's not effective, actually. That is doing something, and it gives you the feeling, just like in our own personal life, right? Everybody's busy out here, right? Everybody's busy. Everybody's doing something with their life daily. But not everybody's progressing towards a goal. Not everybody's growing out here. Not everybody's getting results, right? Not everybody's getting positive results in their life. But we're all doing stuff. I mean, we're all going from one place to another. We're all showing up to work. We're all being moms and dads. We're all doing that. But some people are getting better results as they do that than others, right? Some people are doing those things more effectively than others. So this idea that you just, without any information or without any knowledge or without any strategy, plan, idea, any of these things is just going to hop up and be effective all of a sudden is highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. And now some people would say it's better than nothing, but I would disagree. Because like I said, if I jump up and I start doing... We're seeing this happen, right? I'm going to start posting black squares because I feel like I'm doing something that helps. And all of a sudden everybody's like, that's not helping. Stop doing it, you're hurting us. Okay, well now I'm hurting, right? Did I mean to hurt you? Did I mean to hurt your cause? Or did I mean to help it? The problem is just that it's hard for me to be effective because I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. Most people don't even know how to protest, let alone protest effectively. Most people do not understand the true situation between police brutality and black citizens in their community. They don't really understand that. And so for them to come out and try to enact some type of, you see what I'm saying? It really requires effectiveness. And effectiveness requires all kinds of other things. It requires diligence. It requires consistency. Right? You can't just do it one time. You can't just post a post, right? You got to know what you're talking about. In the end, all this has to equate or equivalent or something to an actual effective change. And some people say, well, these officers, I want justice. Justice does not create change. So do you want justice or do you want reform, right? Because reforming the police and the police brutality is not just, these men can go to prison forever. And that doesn't mean that all black people are now safe, does it? It doesn't add up. That's not effective. Right? So yeah, sure, we can come out here and scream that these police officers go to prison, and I would love to see that. That will be justice, but justice won't be reform. So you know what I mean? In order to be effective, we first need to really get educated, really get organized, really get specific on what it is that we're trying to accomplish, and how do we want to go about accomplishing that. Because that's how you would if you were going to do anything effectively. If you're going to win a championship, you don't start the day of the championship try to start preparing for that game. You prepare in months in advance, years in advance, right? The coach comes. You as an organization, as the Philadelphia Eagles, or as the whatever, the black people for the lives of the whatever. You come together as an organization, and that organization has a leader. And together, you and your organization with your leader come up with an organized strategy to win the championship, right? And it's going to require not just one day of sacrifice. It's not going to require just 1 week of sacrifice. In order for you to win this championship, you and your team will need to sacrifice day in and day out for years, maybe decades. I don't know how strong your team is. I don't know how fast your team is or smart your team is, right? Whatever. I don't know how good your strategy is. I don't know how good your leader is. But all of these things are going to play into how effective you are in winning this championship, right? But it requires those things. I know that. I know that for a fact. Like I said, I don't care which any of those teams, any of that, right? It's going to require that you play the game. You're going to have to play the game. That's the way you win the championship, is you're going to have to play the game, and you're going to have to play it consistently, and you're going to have to play it good, right? You can't just, if I storm the field, do we win the championship? Yes or no? No. No, we do not. If anything, all we do is postpone the game, right? So you got to understand, like I said, it's not good enough to know that you want to win. It's not good enough to need to win. That's not good enough. Everybody needs to win. Everybody out there believes in their team just as much as you believe in your team, right? And they need to win the championship just as much as you need to win the championship. And they have strategies, and they have ideas, and they have plans, and they have all these things that, if I'm being honest, have led up to them winning multiple championships so far. If I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, let's just be realistic here. These motherfuckers are winning the championships consistently. And we are consistently losing the championships. So we have to step back and say, is our strategy actually working to win us the championship, right? Doesn't matter if we want to play the game. It's like, are we playing it effectively? Are we winning, right? And what does it take to win? So today, as you've decided, as a lot of us decided that we want to win the championship. We want to play the game, right? A lot of us have decided, look, even me myself have realized, you know what? It's time I start playing the game. It's really time that I get involved in not just anything, but everything that I'm actually passionate about or believe in out here. It's going to require me to be consistent, to be diligent, to be effective. And again, to be effective means, like, is it effective for me to, if I want to get in shape, right? If I want to get in shape, could I just run as hard as I possibly can for 1 week and then just never run again? Is that going to put me in shape? Am I going to get in shape that way? Can I just ignore my problems, ignore my weight, ignore my health, ignore my daily routine, ignore, not pay attention to any of these things, become 300 pounds overweight, and then because I'm 300 pounds overweight, I don't want to be fat anymore. Can I just get skinny? Can I just lop all my fat off and say, there, change? Has change ever come about like that? Ever? 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 Instantaneous change. Has anybody ever witnessed did I instantaneously paint on these abs? I promise you I did not. I promise you I did not. I promise. I tried to show you daily that I do not. Right? Sorry, I'm trying to make lunch too. I'm not just trying to preach. I just got out of the shower. I'm trying to cook. Change required work. It did. And you know what? It didn't just require work. Like I said, winning the championship doesn't just require work. It requires consistent work. Over time. Diligent work. Right? The people who win the championship, do they half-ass their work all the way up to the championship and then go hard? Is that how you win? You win by going hard every single game, every single practice, every single team meeting, every single diet, everything you do as a team, as an organization, as a person goes into winning that championship for your team. This is effective. This is how teams win championships. This is life. This is how you get ahead in your own personal life. Right? So many people, it's not like I don't just see ineffectiveness on the macro. The reason the macro is so fucking ineffective is because we're so ineffective in our own personal lives. Daily. I watch this daily. Motherfuckers who can't even manage the stress and anxiety of holding down a job and a family. We're now going to hold down the anxieties and stresses of a civil war too? Or a protest? Or your problems? Me as a person, as an individual, 85% of Americans out there, most of Americans are depressed. Which goes to show me they can't even handle their own problems in their own situations. But we expect each other to be strong enough to help our communities? To help others? Is that effective? I would disagree. I would disagree. You know? I would disagree. And so I do keep my mouth shut. But I don't keep my mouth shut, right? Like, I keep my mouth shut because that's how you make yourself look like a dumbass. It's true. I've done it plenty of times. I've done it so many times that I'm really careful about how I do it now. I put my own foot in my mouth so many times, I'm sick of the taste. Okay? It tastes like shit, my own boot. And I do that by blurting out and stalking and putting out all this shit about things that I think I know about, but deep down, do I know? Because we all know we don't know, but we think we know. We pretend to know. But you know how much studying you do. Do you know where the racial wealth gap comes from? Do you know anything? How many people died of police brutality this year? How many? Not just blacks, people in general. Do you know? I don't know. I'm not saying, I'm trying to say you're wrong because you don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many black people versus how many white people were oppressed by police brutality this year. I know how many the news reported to me, sure. But do you know how many actually happened or have been reported, not just reported on? Right? Do you know any of it? What do we know? Like, ask yourself, what do I really know? Ask yourself, what am I protesting? Why am I protesting? What would I like to see come about from these protests? If that came about, would that actually be the change that I'm looking for? Let's take it to your own personal life, right? It's not good enough to just know you want your life to be better. What does that mean? Your life is, as far as I'm concerned, your life is amazing. It's perfect. As far as when I look at people's lives, I'm like, what else do you want? You have air. You have water and food. You live today. You're talking on a cell phone. So as far as I'm concerned, you're all perfect. But when I ask people out here, how's your life going? They don't tell me perfect. They don't tell me, it's fucking honky-dory, doing this and that, right? So, my point is, if you're confused in that situation, like you just saying, I want change, is obviously not producing that change for you, right? Because you also need to know what change you're looking for. I'm not happy with my body. I'm not happy with my financial situation. I'm not happy with my relationship with my wife, right? Whatever. Dude, the strategy for fixing your relationship with your wife is a way different strategy than I need change, okay? Because my little joke or just point is, you want change, Trump might become your dictator. There's your change. There, change. Martial law has been enacted. Change. But that wasn't the change you were looking for, was it? Hell, like I said, police justice. There you go. Shut you up. Here, put all 10 of those cops. Put the whole Minnesota Police Department in prison. There. Solve your problems. Right? I hear a lot of people saying defund the police. Is that going to help you or is it going to hurt you? Or is that just something you're saying because you're angry at police right now? Is that something that a year from now, when there are no police out there and you're getting mugged on your street, are you going to be like, where the police? What? I voted to wipe away all the police and I didn't really think about the consequences of a type of decision like that, or, anything. I'm not saying that's the right or the wrong, right? Because I don't know. I think I know. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't vote for defunding the police because I personally believe the problem is the police don't have enough money, right? People do things on incentives. That's why people do anything, right? Why you do anything in your life? Because you think it's going to make you better, faster, stronger, healthier, happier, make more money, look better to everybody else out here. But very rarely are you out here trying to take over the world or trying to oppress an entire nation or any of that stuff, right? Very rarely. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but very rarely. Most police officers, an overwhelming majority of police officers, are you and me. Are me when I joined the military. You know why I joined the Army? Is it because I'm some gun-ho motherfucker who cares about your rights and your privileges as a human being, and I'm like, I'm going to come out here and defend the United States of America Constitution because do you see an American flag tatted on me anywhere over here on my body? Right? Why did I join the military? Is it because I'm a killer and I wanted to kill young babies in Vietnam and shit and murder them and massacre them? No. I'll tell you why I joined the military. Because I didn't have anything better to do. Because it was either prison or jail. That was my life at the moment. It was like I was either going to continue to do meth and break into people's homes and go down a very, very dark path, or I could go to the military, which they're going to feed, water me, and teach me how to be a man. I think I'll do the thing that is useful to me. Not you. I didn't do it for you. I didn't do it for my neighbor. I didn't do it to oppress people. I didn't do it to fight wars in Afghanistan or Iraq or any of that shit. I joined the military so I could take care of my family. That's how I would argue most people do it. But what happens though? Guess who else joins the army or the military or the police or any of those? Fuck bags, shit bags, motherfuckers who don't have anywhere else to go, right? Who don't have any other incentives or whatever. So what if instead of just letting any old body into your police force and paying them these measly little wages, same thing we do to our teachers too, and we wonder why our education system is fucked, right? It's because the incentives for people who are extremely intelligent to become teachers are very, very nominal. If I'm a genius, if me being the most empathetic, self-controlling person I am, why would I want to be a police officer? What incentive do I have as Rod, this very loving, very caring, very smart, very intelligent, all these things, very fit, very patient, all these things that are amazing that you would love to see in your police officers? Why am I not trying to be a police officer? I'll tell you why. Because a police officer make about 50 grand a year, maybe, tops. So, everybody's like, defund the police. It sounds good in theory. It sounds good. It sounds like a solution to your problem. But maybe the problem is that we just have poorly trained, poorly motivated cops, right? What if maybe funding increased for them and along with training and along with more selective allowing into the police force, right? Instead of just letting anybody march up in there and do the dance real quick and then they get to put on the badge. But what if there was more screening that went involved? But for more screening, for more training, you need more money. You can't defund because now they get less training because they can't afford training, and they get less of screening and less you know what I mean? Like, you're just incentivizing more shitbags to join the police force rather than helping your police be more effective, right? So, I'm not throwing these out as saying, like, these are the solutions. This is how people help themselves or help the problems or help their life. I don't know. I don't know how you particularly get your own life together. Why don't I know that? Because I don't know you. I don't know what your problem is. Now, that's why I coach. That's why I try and talk to people, because the more I can figure out what your specific problem is, the more I can help you create a strategy for your specific problem. But would I be an effective coach if I just tried to tell you what your problem is, convince you what your problem is, and then fix what I think your problem is? No, that would not be effective. That made me feel good. It made me feel like I know what I'm talking about. It made me feel powerful. It made me feel in control of the situation and of your life and mine. But it's not effective. That's the word of the day, is effective. Today we're not looking for vindication. I mean, at least I hope you're not, you know? I hope we're not all out here just looking for revenge, right? Because revenge is not reform, right? Revenge doesn't stop future black people from getting murdered, right? That just murders other people, but it doesn't stop the future murdering of people. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I worry. You've seen that in my social media, my posts, because this happens all the time. This happens with everybody in their life. Like I said, it just happened. You know how long ago we just protested for environmental concerns? Does everybody remember this, right? Everybody was there for this. You made the post. We all posted on the gram. We all marched. I was out there. I saw you guys by the thousands, millions marching. But today, in the face of Black Lives Matter, or in the face of coronavirus, where are all the fucking conservatives? Like, where are all the, ecologists, all the people, the biologists, all the people who are so concerned about the planet? Where are you at? How come I don't see no signs out there saying, hey, I support your protest, but also make sure you pick up your trash? Because they never cared. They never really cared. They didn't actually care about the planet, right? They weren't effectively caring for the planet. They were trying to convince you that you should effectively care for the planet, but they didn't really want to effectively care. They themselves were convinced that they should care, and so now they're trying to convince you that you should care, but they don't actually care. And so they're ineffective. Is your post effective? I ask myself that all the time. We're all texting George Floyd. Text George Floyd to this number. What does that do? What number are you texting? What are you putting your vote out there for when you text that? because I haven't seen anything. I just said, to support, text this number with George Floyd. What is, and when I text you that number, what does that do? Does that register me as a Democratic voter? Does that donate $10 to George Floyd's family? What does that do? Does that sign some petition? What's that petition do? Where's that petition going to go? How's that going to help me? How's it going to help black people? How's it going to help anybody? This is what Obama was talking about, right? He's trying to sell people. And look, guys, I know. I've been here. The only reason I'm even able to talk about this is I have been ineffective. Okay? I spent 20 years of my life, 25 years of my life being completely ineffective. Ineffective in my own life and ineffective in my help or pursuit to help others. Completely. Hence why I only have 2,000 followers. Hence why we're only talking to 10 people, right? Like, I haven't even been effective in my own personal life up until this point. So learning that now lets me see that, I used to be far Democratic leaning, right? I used to be far social equality, social, whatever you want to call it, right? I was a social justice warrior, for lack of a better term, right? Like, I felt like the plights of the poor, not even necessarily black people, but poor people, right? Like, the people I see the most, because the idea that rich white people like other poor white people is silly too, right? Like, this idea that rich, powerful white people, just if they see some trailer park trash white dude with tattoos all over their face and everything else, is going to be like, oh, my white brother, get in close, buddy. We're white, so fuck it. We're homies. No, fuck no. Fuck no. What are you talking about? Like, come on, please, right? So this idea that we're into race, trust me, we're into economics. This is America, okay? We're into making money. That's what we're into. And the reason that people ain't helping us is not because we're black. It's because we're poor. And people don't give a fuck about poor people, right? This is America. Make money. Oh, you're poor? Then unpoor yourself. What do you want us to do, right? That's America. That's America for you, right? And I used to think that was fucked up. I really, really did. I really, really used to see that as unjust, as unempathetic, as uncaring, as just immoral and wrong and fucked up, and just, how could you only care about making more money? That's all you care about is more money. You don't care about making people's lives. You don't care. I don't even know those people. All that judgment. It wasn't until I started realizing that this government and these bad, rich people that I'm talking about are you and me. Don't you want to be rich? I would love to be rich. Am I a bad guy? Am I trying to get rich because I'm nefarious, like trying to hurt and kill everybody around me, and I want everybody else to be oppressed and fucked off? Am I trying to get rich because I'm racist? Is that why? Is that why Sherrod Sloan wants to be rich? Is so that I can oppress everybody else around me? I promise you it is not. It's not. It's nowhere in my wheelhouse. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about oppressing you. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm on a mission. My mission needs money. My life needs money. I want to take care of my family. I want to send my kid to school. I want my wife to be able to do whatever she wants. I don't want her to have to work. I hate that my wife has to work every day. It drives me nuts. Okay? So this idea that everybody's out here getting rich and powerful so that they can now oppress everybody else is a boogie story we're telling ourselves. And I realized that for myself. I said, this isn't effective. This doesn't make any sense. This isn't helping me or my situation or anybody's situation for me to villainize every rich white man I might need those men's help. Those people might be the very people who help me get what I need, make what I need, be what I want. And if I villainize them before I even met them, before I even know them, before I even anything them, if I throw them into this grand big machine of all cops or my entire government, which I used to do, all rich people, and you make them this not human thing. It's like you make them into this machine that has no, and they deserve everything that's happening to them because they're the machine. And it's like, no, they're people. They're people who may want to make a change, may not, may be self-serving or people-serving or whatever. But this idea that everybody out here is a villain is not effective. It's not effective. Like I said, you might need those people for help. Those people might be your very cause or effect in change, but us villainizing them has now created a scenario in which there is no course of action between us, right? Now they hate us and we hate them, And now our effective change is lost in our hatred for each other, or in our disdain for each other, our dislike of each other, when really we need each other to be better, right? And so it's ineffective. It's ineffective. And so why you ain't see Rod at a protest? Not because I'm not out here trying to fight the good fight, not because I don't want equality for black people or any of those things. It's just ineffective. Other people will disagree. I get that. That's why I'm also not trying to tell you, you're a dumbass for protesting. You're a fucking, I don't know. Maybe that is the way to change. Hey, I know this. I'll know this. We're on the same team. We're on the same team. Hey, look, we might have different strategies. You know, we might have thought it out differently. Like, you know what I mean? We might be working at different levels of effectiveness. But we're definitely on the same team. Like, we definitely want to see the same things. So this idea that, like I said, I'm not trying to convince anybody that they're dumb out here, that they're doing the wrong thing, or none of that stuff. I'm just trying to ask people, whatever side of this you're on, hell, I don't even care if you're on the racist pro-white side, right? Do whatever the fuck you want to out here. As I'm starting to express more my political views or my societal views, you'll start to really understand that I, as Rod, am a very libertarian person. Meaning I fully believe in personal responsibility. Like, you should govern something. Where's my phone? God, I've been getting so into vocabulary lately. Like, knowing the words that you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, know what the words you're saying mean. I see everybody throwing out the word racism. Like, racism has a very particular definition with a very particular purpose in its language. It's not just everything's racism, right? Like, there is things that are racism based on... If you make this whole thing about black people, guess what? You're racist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. There's not like, people don't even understand. They're like, there's no such thing as reverse racism. Wrong. If I'm prejudiced against a white person based on the fact that they are white, that is also racism. There's no, that is racism just as calling a black motherfucker, that's racist too. If I identify and desegregate or treat somebody based on their race, that is racism. Okay? This idea that only black people get racism is also not true, right? So I'm in the vocabulary. And lately, I got my phone here, so I can't really look it up. But if I did, we'd look up the word govern. What it means to be governed by something. And I'm pretty sure it means to, like, take care of or to control or to lead, right? To organize and keep, I don't know, right? It's to take care of something, right? It's to have governance over it. I don't think we need that. I think people need to learn how to govern themselves. If people learn, like, that's what I'm always talking about. Like, George Floyd's problems, not your problems. Your problems are your problems. Black people wouldn't be getting killed if everybody was taking care of everybody, right? If we were personally governing each other, personally governing our police force, personally governing our lives and our communities and our everything, right? Personal responsibility, meaning I'm going to take care of it today, right? Care is almost inherently responsibility. When I say I care about my child, what does that mean? I'm responsible for my child also, right? Like, I care for her, so I have to take care of her. Like, I love her, I want her to be good, and that requires me to have certain responsibilities. Well, a lot of our society has offloaded so many of our responsibilities to our government, and then that's what we feel like, you know what I mean? We don't have any control anymore. Why don't you have any control? Well, because your government has control. And you don't feel like you have control over your government, so what do? You're like, bitch, and complain and shit. Right? It's like, damn, what if you just had the power? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you didn't like your police force, and maybe police is a bad example, but I always use, like, fire department. If I lived in a neighborhood and my fire department wasn't acting in the way that I needed them to, like if I kept calling them and my fire department wasn't showing up or whatever and then letting people's houses burn, then I would see a need. I'd be like, you know what? God damn it, I'm tired of these I'm tired of Jeff's fucking fire service. It sucks. You know what? I'd walk outside and grab my sign, boom! I'd buy me a fire truck and I'd park it in my driveway. And I'd say, you know what? Rod's Fire Service. If you need help, call Rod at this, and this number. Right? And then I would show up and I would do a good job. And everybody would start coming to my fire service because I actually care. Because I'm actually being responsible for fire. Is that the way it works now? No. I wish you would try and open up your own fire department. I wish you would. right? The government will say, fuck no, you better stop that. We have the fire department. And we're like, yeah, but you're not doing a good job. And they're like, well, sorry. Then, it's our fire department, so you better figure out some way to right? So that's why I'm big into libertarianism. Like, I feel like if people were really out here taking care of themselves, then the community would police their police. And the police would police for their communities because those would be their bosses. Those would be people who are in charge of them and make sure that, you know what I mean? It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But I'm a libertarian. I believe in personal responsibility more than anything. Less than I care about controlling any of you guys out here, I care about controlling myself. And through that, I find peace. I find progression, right? I find effective change. Damn it, I find effective change. Dude, when I want to change, you know how fast I can change? Instantaneously. Shazam. Wow, I've done it. I went from being far left Democrat to libertarian in a matter of like 6 months with the right information. I went from being out of shape completely to full in shape instantaneously. You know how long it would take me to get America in shape? Think about it. You know how long it would, if I was like, yo, I see a mission out, I see a lot of fat, obese people out here in America, and that needs to stop now. I'm going to change that. You know how long it'll take me to make all you motherfuckers unfat? Forever. Just macro, right? Just the idea of making it happen on a grand scale takes what? More time. It takes more time. It has to happen across a bigger platform. It has to happen across more people. It has to happen. It just takes time. So it's almost built in ineffective trying to change your country, trying to change your world. I'm telling people all the time, you know how many people die trying to change the world and change nothing? Why didn't they change anything? Because they're so busy and focused on trying to change the world, they did nothing effectively in their own lives to change, to be the person who changes the world. Somebody missed that. Somebody missed that, but I'm just thinking about that for real, right? Like, you're so concerned with the world and the world's problems and this problem of the world and that problem of the world and this championship over here and that championship. And every day you're taking on some new championship to play. Some new fight that you're going to win, and you end up losing all fights. Why? Because you were ineffective in any of them. And the time it took you to learn, and the time it took you to get, to get caught up with the game, you move to a new game. Imagine if every time I played a game, today, I spend all week practicing, training, learning to be the lacrosse champion of the world. And at the end of the week, I win one lacrosse game, and then I say, all right, now I'm going to be the soccer champion of the world. And then I spend a whole week trying to become the best soccer. What championship am I going to win? None of them. Not a single one. I'll lose every single time to the motherfucker who's been playing soccer his whole life. To the motherfucker who's been playing lacrosse the motherfucker who's been playing politics their whole life. The person who's been playing psychology their whole life. Personal psychology. All these things, right? Their whole life. And so that's me. Today I'm not distracted by Black Lives Matter because tomorrow, mental health will still matter. Mental health mattered before this mattered. Mental health will matter tomorrow and the day after that and the day before this and all times. All times, your positive psychology, your personal ability to change your own personal life is just as important as our ability to change our government, to change our nation, to change our world. It's just as important to me. It should be just as important to you. And so every day, day in, day out, whether it makes the news, whether you like me, whether you don't like me, whether you watch whether you like my post or you don't like my post. Well, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter to me. Because my mission is mental health. It's not your mission today, and I understand that. And whenever it is your mission, then guess what? You'll be right here and you'll help me, and that's fine. That's great. And when it's not, it's not. I don't need you. You see what I'm saying? I don't need you. I got it. This is what I'm doing. But I also can't do this for you and for me and for everybody. I can't be the mental health guy. I can't push positive psychology in the way consistently and effectively if I'm constantly abandoning it to pick up your thing, your world, and you care about the environment. You care about black people. You care about rich white people. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, you care, so care. And I'll be over here caring about me and mine effectively. Meaning I'm not going to be sitting around asking for your permission or asking for your time, asking for your money. I'm going to put my money. I'm going to make more money so I can put more money. right? I'm going to effectively go out into I'm going to put out content. I'm going to do talks. I'm going to show up in your neighborhoods. I'm going to be the leader for this cause. Day in and day out. And when the world finally needs a leader, or whenever my little topic rises to the top of the agenda, either by my own force or by some type of accidental coincidence, guess who's going to be ready? To win the championship. To fucking win that mental health game. Who's going to be there? Who's going to be there with the plan? Me. Who's going to be there ready to protest? Me. Not just ineffective, but me. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be ready, though. That's the difference. I'm ready. Because I seen this was a problem years ago. 10 years ago. 20 years ago. I've been looking at sad motherfuckers my whole life. So I've been on this. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to knock you for just coming to the party. You just decided today that you want to win the championship. This could be anything. Okay? The championship doesn't have to be black rights. It doesn't have to be ending police brutality. Maybe your mission today, or maybe your championship you want to win is, I want to lose 30 pounds. Well, you're not just going to say it today and then 30 pounds are going to just melt away from you. Right? You're not going to be able to just get up and work out for 1 week and then think that 30 pounds are just going to melt away. You're going to need to show up consistently, day in, day out. You're going to need to learn. You're going to need to be effective. You're going to need to be diligent. You're going to need to really make that your mission. Not just say it. Not just talk about it because it's the hot topic. That's why that's why fly-by-night diets don't work. Right? The new diet. Oh, I'm trying that new hot diet. You're just trying it, so it's not going to work for you because you're not going to do it. You're not committed to the new diet. You're not in love with the new diet. You didn't study the new diet. You just heard it works, and so you might try it. I'll see what it does. But then, you know what I mean? You go do the diet for 5 days? It's not going to do anything. And you're going to be like, yeah, I just like pizza too much. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Pizza. You know, I'm me. What am I do? You know, that's just how I am. That's just how I be. Is what we'll do, though. And that's what we'll do in this situation. Everybody who says they care right now, watch. Just watch. Just watch. Same people who care about this now are the same people who are jumping up and down on me talking about coronavirus. Now they're out there protesting. I ain't mad at them. I'm just saying, it's ineffective. It seems ineffective for both. It seems ineffective to help the black people or to help the coronavirus. It seems like you just lost at both of those games now. Not because you wanted to. Not because you're mean. Not because you're a bad guy. You weren't effective. So, I hope it was useful to you today. I love you guys so much. And I hope that you learned something in that. And like I said, I'm not just talking to hear my own voice. I hope this makes you more effective. In the end, I hope that you get whatever it is you want out here. Whether that be personal growth, family growth, national growth, world growth. I don't care if you're looking for world peace or if you're looking for peace in your own home. I hope you find it. But the only way you're going to find it is by being effective. And the only way you're going to be effective is by remaining consistent, really caring, really getting your hands dirty. You're going to do hard work. Right? And you're going to do it day in and day out. Even when it's not cool. Even when nobody's looking. Even when everybody else has stopped caring, it's going to require you to continuously care. So, Rod, that's the thing about coaching. I'm not always here to push you. I'm not always here to give you good, positive vibes, right? The world's not always there to show up for your cause. It's just, you got to do it. And you got to take responsibility and you got to be effective. So, as you will, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. And like I said, and the flip caveat, this is the last one, the flip caveat to that is that's the justification you need for not doing this. If anybody out there feels like they need to pass judgment on me or tries to condemn me or whatever you feel like you need to do on me because you don't agree with how I'm handling said situation or what I'm doing in the world, I understand. I get it. From where you're sitting, in the mindset that you're in the worldview and perspective that you have, I'm not doing enough. I get that. But from where I'm standing, and from what I know, and from what I'm doing, in my perspective, I'm doing more than most. So, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like I said again, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. You're helping people, I'm helping people, we're all helping people. We're all doing our best. We're all just doing our fucking best out here. Okay? That's what's really happening. If you really want to know what's happening, everybody else is doing exactly what you're doing. The best they can with what the fuck they got. That's just it. right? With the ideas that they have, with the resources that they have, with the perspective that they have, we're all just doing the best that we think we can do, okay? So I hope that helps you come from a more positive place today and a more effective place and with less emotion, because with less emotion means more logic, right? With more logic means a better, more effective solution. All right, I love you so much.